Okay, hi. Did you miss me? It's been about a week since you saw me. Crazy. I know I'm spoiling you. After almost a year of not seeing my face, you get to see it. Twice in 2 weeks. Actually, 4 times in 4 weeks. You're so special. Hello, hi, how are you? How are you doing? What is today? Well, today's another makeup day. As you can imagine, we're doing some makeup today. What makeup are we gonna do, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you, but why don't you like this video? Why don't you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the other ones? And why don't you if you think this video is kind of cool, maybe share it to somebody else and be like, look at how cool this is, because that'd be fun for me. Now that that's done and over with, what are we doing? Well, live action Little Mermaid may or may not have come out this year, you know what I mean? And I thought, what a better thing to do than be Ursula? Because I don't want to be the Little Mermaid. That's boring. Ursula, she's purple. I want to be Ursula, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be Ursula today. We're gonna be a bit of a glam Ursula, but we're gonna be Ursula. The problem is, that means I have to block out my eyebrows. A few minor complications with that, right? 1, haven't done it in a year. Probably gonna go poorly. 2, I don't have makeup wipes to clean it up. So we're just gonna hope for the best and we're gonna make this happen, okay? I have some faith in myself that this will be fine. Also, I still to this day do not understand why people, before they put it on, gross. Why would you lick the glue? Don't they teach you not to lick the glue? Isn't that rule number 1 of what not to do? Anyways, we're doing Ursula. Here's some inspiration photos. And by some, I mean this one. I have a couple others, but this is the one I like the most. And it is by, can I figure it out? I don't know. Let's see. I cannot. There is no person to credit on Pinterest. It seems to be from an Instagram post, but I can't tell. So if you know, tag them. If you don't know, I'm sorry to the person who did it. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're stunning. That look is perfection. So I'm going to try and mimic it, if you will. Okay? So that's all. Let's get into it. What do you say? Let's go. Also ignore my dog. He's being a turd. Okay. I want to put a timer on this, okay? It is 8:53 p.m. I just did 3 TikTok transition videos, and we're just now starting. I would like to be in bed by 2 o'clock, okay? I'd like to be in bed by 2. It is currently 8:53. That means if I can get this all done and in the shower by 1:30, we are doing great. Let's see what we can do. So let's start first. We are going to work on our eyebrows. It's tough. It really is, but we're going to get these eyebrows done. What you need, I've done this a few times, so you can reference other videos, but I will show you, mainly because we all know that I'm gonna cut out quite a bit of stuff on things that I might not need to do, and I don't have as much to talk about this week because I don't need to update you on where I've been, because nothing's changed. So you need purple Elmer's glue, preferably, only because you can see when it dries, because it dries clear. You need a spoolie to help brush your eyebrows out. You need a large amount of powder, a little cosmetic wedge to apply said powder to your eyebrows once they are glued. And then you're going to need some sort of concealer color correction to kind of cover it up. In an ideal world, I would have a bright orange concealer to color correct it, but I don't. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of concealer and then foundation and just hope for the best, right? So you just take your little purple glue stick. I warmed it up on my paper towel a little bit just to kind of get it going, but we're just gonna all over, okay? It's gonna be a hot mess, and that's okay. If I have to, I will take water and kind of work the glue off my skin, because I don't really want all the excess glue everywhere, but I'm just really gonna coat it, okay? And then I'm going to take my spoolie, and I'm going to brush through my brows and brush them straight up, okay? You're gonna look a little crazy, and that's okay. No one expects you to look normal during this process, especially me. Me and my long eyebrows, they know that they're going in weird directions. We all know they're going in weird directions. I'm gonna look even crazier when I have no eyebrows, okay? You're just gonna have to ignore it. Then I like to take the end of this spoolie. By the way, these are just disposable mascara wands, essentially, that I get I got them a long time ago to do like bridal makeup and stuff so that I don't end up dipping back into the same mascara wand. This is what I use. Too much excess glue will be a problem texture-wise later, but I do have a lot of straggly hairs, so at the end of the day, if there's a little bit of extra glue, I'm not that worried about it. It just obviously isn't the texture of skin, so you don't want to like have too much glue all over the place. And you're gonna do this a couple times. You're gonna layer them, you're gonna flatten it down as flat to your skin as possible, and then at the very, very end is when you do the powder. When you've had a couple layers of glue and they've fully dried, that is when powder gets to go on. Now that we have to wait for all this to dry and like go through that process, it takes a while. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep doing some more layers of glue. When it's time to powder, I'll come back and I can show you obviously what to do to powder. It's not that complex. You dip this wedge into like some powder and just like really go ham, but it's fine. So I'll be back. I gotta do a couple more layers of this glue before we're gonna be able to put the powder on, and it has to dry in between layers. So I don't wanna bore you with just sitting here watching literally glue dry. Wanna know what I realized? I was like, hey, Caitlin, you know, you're trying to move fast, right? This is my third layer of glue, by the way. I'm like, Caitlin, you're trying to go quicker than you have been in the past. Why wouldn't you take advantage of the dry time and maybe be productive, right? Like maybe you should take during the dry time between your eyebrow gluing sessions, whatever you want to call them, maybe you draw on some details to your chest and stuff that don't pertain to your eyebrows. Maybe that's a good idea. Sorry, I just was way out of frame. Maybe that's a good idea, right? What a genius thought, Caitlin. You're so smart. Good thing I have you. My texture's fine. It's not perfect, and I know it's not gonna be perfect when I go to actually do it. My expectations for myself weren't super high, so it's not the end of the world. What I am gonna do is take my trusty white liner. I'm gonna show you what I kinda wanna do on my chest. Now, once again, with what happened last week, you can't see anything down here. I guess now you can if I go way back here, but that's not really my intention, but I will try. In this picture, you can see, right? She has some things going right down her neck, which are her little tentacles, plus she has the shell in the center. I want to do all those things because I think it looks really fucking cool. Will my tentacles be this good? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Lower your expectations. Thank you. But we're gonna try, okay? So first, I kind of want to do the center like medallion. And by medallion, I mean shell, right? So we're gonna have a nice little shell like so. And it's gonna curve around. Oop, that's a terrible curve, but can't really see that, but I drew it. That's all that matters, right? Wow, I have a beautiful necklace on. Stunning. We're gonna take another little tentacle bit. We're just gonna wrap it around our neck, kind of let it get wider as it gets like thinner on the as it like goes towards the end of the tentacle. A little bit more wider and girthier on the other part. Girthy. What a way to describe tentacles, Caitlin. So that's the goal. Up here, we're gonna do some crazy eyebrows, some big fun eyeshadow to make our eyes look like big, all purple, all that jazz. Okay, so this is my RCMA No Color Powder. It is a great powder for SFX and all that, especially with like the face paints and things, because it doesn't have a color, as the title says. And so you can kind of put it everywhere and it will set stuff down without it like being a problem. Now, I'm gonna get powder all over myself here because I am putting a ton on. You can see it kind of like puffing around everywhere because I am powdering the shit out of my eyebrows. And I don't want to move them at all, so I am just tapping the powder on. If I'm rubbing, then I am providing a lot of friction to potentially move those glued down eyebrow hairs around, and I do not want that. So now for the fun part, I am going to take my concealer. This is my CoverGirl True Blend Undercover. It is my darkest shade, which has a bit more of a warm undertone. I am going to try and cover up these bad boys using this concealer. I've never looked better. I am the most stunning girl you've ever seen. I know. You don't have to tell me twice. I know. But I'm gonna head off and do those two things just real quick, so that way I'm not just sitting here doing nothing, you know? So I'm gonna do all this. I'm letting this sit so that it can develop a little bit and keep the pigment more when I start to blend it out. And then I'll come back with my foundation on and we'll start mixing some paint and working on the base of our Ursula. Okay, do I look beautiful or like, do I look beautiful, you know? I did my foundation and concealer, so that is on. We will be starting with some of this. Makeup Forever Flash Palette. We are going to be making a nice purple. I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing blue and red to make like a dark purple, I'm gonna use pink and blue and make like a lighter purple. And then I can add like contour and things where I need it later. I don't wanna do too much of like a deep dark purple and then struggle to add highlights because that is more difficult. So I'm gonna try to do it that way. I wonder if I can like mix it up here so you guys can see it a little better. Might be fun for you to see the process, right? See, that's already so dark. I guess I could have used the light blue and maybe that would have helped, like the teal color. I could just mix in white, of course. It's literally like mixing paint on a palette, you know? So it is quite fun. Now I'm going to take, I'm covered. I'm gonna take the other end. I am gonna dip into this white and peel up a bunch of that. And I'm gonna throw that in the mixture here so it can be a bit of a lighter color. See, that's already a much better color. It still is a little bit, let's do a little test strand. It's still a little bit darker than I think I really wanted to go and a little bit more blue. So maybe I can add, maybe some of the peachy color. See, that tone is already way better than this blue tone that's on my face. So I'm going to take my little spatula here and actually just rub this on my face because we're not wasting product around here, you know? We will not be wasting product. Not in this house. And I did wash this brush. I know it looks green, but I've washed it many times. This has been stained green since 2020. So let's just ignore it, okay? We are going to start putting this purple everywhere. All right, I'm not going to put the paint directly on my lids. I'm like my eyelids. I am just going to put it on the eyebrows and around because I do want to do some like intense eyeshadow on the eyes and I don't want to fuck with doing it on top of paint. Plus like a glitter glue on top of paint. I don't know how it'll work, so I'm gonna keep that to a minimum, I believe. In between takes of me recording and not recording, I'm watching Big Brother because I missed it on Sunday. And my goodness, is this season just like a giant clusterfuck? I don't know what it is. I just feel like these people are a disaster. All of them. If you watch Big Brother, let me know because I need to know your opinion. Like, who was your favorite? Who is your favorite? Who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite? Who are you rooting for? I don't want to give too much away, but I'm a big fan of someone fighting their way back into the house. And anyone who can do that is a winner in my book, you know? So I don't want to be like too biased, but I'd say that alone, that action is great. I love Matt. I love Jag. I am going to keep going. I'm going to start putting some on my ears and then I'm going to start going down the chest around the areas that I've already marked out for the shell and the tentacles. But I will do that the rest of this off camera. I feel like you've been watching me blend paint for like a pretty long time. And I feel like you don't need to see all that. We are un poquito patchy in areas, but that's okay. We did our best. Now, what I want to do is I want to do the little medallion or the shell, and then I want to do the tentacles. So what I'm seeing on the tentacles is that they are pretty dark with like a lighter piece, right? When they like curl over. So I'm wondering if I try to draw that so that I can paint them in 2 different shades and hopefully get like a good visual, you know what I mean? Honestly, before I hit start, I probably should have stopped my door chime from going off a million times. I will do that, okay? I promise. I'm just a little busy right now. I am going to now take yellow and brown and mix it together a little bit just because I don't want it to be like vibrant yellow. And I also don't want it to be dark brown. I'm gonna do a little bit of both on my little palette and then we'll paint that onto our neck. I don't need a ton. This is not like a huge area. I am going to just start doing this, I guess, with my poopy brown color. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to be able to see with you guys also being able to see. It's very complicated. I'm thinking for the squigglies, I'll just do like one of them and then I'll go off and do the rest because you can't really see it anyways. So it feels a little bit unnecessary. Sometimes I get into the zone and I get really focused and then I forget what I'm doing. And most of the time that means being out of frame or blocking you guys. Just sit up straighter. So this memory card is full. So I have about 53 seconds to show you what I've got, which is this little blue color that I just made using black and, you guessed it, blue. I am going to figure out how to delete some stuff off this memory card, but in the process, I'm also going to be doing some painting in my little sections here. I'm gonna be using this itty bitty little brush and this blue, and we're gonna paint into all of our little areas. And then I think these little like parts that you can see of the overturned, kind of twisted tentacles are gonna be pink, like a deeper pink color. That's my goal, but I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll deal with the whole memory card thing while I'm gone, you know? But yeah, when I come back, I'll have all the base paint and powdered, and then we'll discuss what we're doing everywhere else, like eyes and details, okay? Okay. We got some tentacles. I've got everything powdered. I would like, I think, to do my eyes and then maybe worry about the shell and the necklace and then move on to the tentacles. I think that's what I would like to do. So what I am gonna do is I'm going to take a white paint and I'm going to paint the shape that I want, I believe is what my goal here is going to be. And then I will top it with the glitters. All right, a little bit of water into this paint. I don't want it to bleed, so I don't want to make it super wet. And I am going to create this big arching shape. These aren't perfectly symmetrical. If I keep messing with them, it's gonna be like eyeliner and they're just gonna keep getting bigger. So I understand that this is not my best move ever to like keep fucking around with it, but here I am. I'm just using my finger to kind of tap over the wet areas and the edges, hoping that maybe I can kind of disperse it a little bit. I am gonna have to go in and try and do some shading of some kind, and so I don't want to make my life harder if I don't have to, you know? So if I can kind of create a bit of a blended line on the edge already, I'm like one step closer to having fun and enjoying my blending opportunities in time, you know? If you can't tell, I wing all of these looks. I don't actually plan this out like at all. Other than buying the wig from Amazon, there is no planning put into this process. It is just like, all right, and here's a picture, let's start. So if you ever look at these and you're like this chaos of me not knowing what to do next, I didn't think about it before I hit record because I have no plan. I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants. Or as Phoebe says, I don't even have a pla. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a white and kind of set my lids just a little bit. And then I will take an eyeshadow, like a dark purple, and maybe start the blending process. I have a couple of palettes. One that I use all the time, so you've probably seen it a million times. Morphe X Me palette. And then this is the e.l.f. XJ Kissa palette. And because it has a bunch of purples, I think that would be really helpful. Plus when it comes to contouring and like kind of defining my face, I do think that the purples might give us some help, which I do need to do some of like that contouring, highlighting stuff to kind of give myself a little bit of dimension back, which I probably could have done before the eyes, but like, it's fine. So let me quickly grab an eyeshadow brush and kind of set my lids just a little bit. So I'm gonna take the e.l.f. and J Kissa palette to the Rescue palette. I'm gonna start with my lighter purple. I don't wanna go too crazy with the dark just yet. I don't think I'm ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of building it just along this outer edge ever so slightly. I'm really willing to take my time because if I don't, I probably will screw this up and I don't want to because I want it to look nice, as you can imagine. So Sadie is the lighter of the two colors in this palette. And then Pretty Girl is the darker color. And this collab was so iconic. Every year when it becomes like Halloween time, I always end up gravitating towards this. It was just such a genius idea, you know? So you have your rose, you have a lighter shade, a little deeper shade, and then a glitter or like a shimmery shade of every color in here. And it's all the rainbow. I will never, ever get over how amazing this palette is. I'm also gonna take that purple and I'm going to start kind of defining the crease, which obviously is a fake crease that we are making with our new eye shape. And then also taking this and kind of winging it out ever so slightly up and out this way. Okay, this is taking a hot second because I'm a perfectionist and I don't know how to slow down, but I did the lower lash line as well. I would like to do the lid together. I am going to take some of my NYX glitter primer. I am going to rub it between my little finger pappets like so, and I'm going to tap it on my white. Just along the white pieces here to the best of my ability. I mean, it is a finger. It's not like I have complete and utter control of where everything goes, but nevertheless. And then I'm going to take Koosh from ColourPop and we're going to put that on top of that glitter primer with the same finger, I guess, because it'll probably pick up really well given that we put a glitter primer down. It's not quite as glittery as one might hope it to be. But it is shiny, that's for sure. But anyways, my battery's going to die. I'm a wee bit hungry, so I'm gonna eat a couple snacks, I think, and kind of cruise along and get this done. Now that I've done one side, I think it'll be easier to do the other, so that'll be great. And I'll come back and we will paint on some eyebrows and then start working on our little shell, okay? Also, I'll have my like eyelashes and maybe I won't put lashes on yet. I'll just have at least my mascara on because I don't think I can handle eyelashes right now. But yeah, this is what we've got going on. I'm pretty excited about it, so BRB. Well, it's 1 a.m. and this is where we're at. So we still have a bit to do. I think I zoomed you in here on accident trying to fix. No, maybe I was fine. I had to change the battery out again. But let's do some eyebrows and then do some detail down on our neck and move on with our lives. You know, it's been a minute. It's 1 o'clock. I don't want to make this take the entire evening. And by it already has, I just mean like I need to go to sleep because my 6 a.m. alarm is going to happen really quickly if I'm not careful. So I am going to very, very gently in the hopes that I don't fuck this up. Because if I do, there is 0 going back. I am going to take my little brush and wing it. Because if you think too much into it, then it will get worse. One thing I've learned about makeup is you can't let it know that you're afraid of it. Now, did I draw these a little high? Maybe, but it's okay. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. Okay, now we just gotta do the other side. All right, moving on. Let's start with our little shell. We have to do our necklace lines. So I'm going to just draw them back, I guess. And then work again. Nice. All right, that is good. Now I'm going to take this same exact brush. Yeah, we'll stay with the same one. Even if it darkens up our brown a little bit, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So I'm going to take my brown and I am going to create that little curlicue. I'm going to continue to just like ever so slightly with this brown color outline the whole shell just because I feel like it needs a little bit of definition. I'm torn, right? So like, do I think that potentially outlining these with like a little bit of black might help? Sure. Do I think that making it super pop arty might not look great? These being the tentacles, maybe. I'm torn. I wonder if I just add a little bit of definition using black on just like some of the edges and just kind of leave that as is. I just don't want to make it so pop arty because I just did that, right? So let's Let's see what I can do. And if I regret this, then it was a choice I made and I have to live with it, you know? And I'm totally okay with it not having like solid lines. I feel like giving it just a little bit of definition is nice, so I'm not mad at this. I might have to do some more like dramatic shadows to really make it stand out as well, which is fine. Getting these tentacles to be like a consistent color was a labor of love, I must say. It took a hot second to get it to look how it does right now. I had to do many a layer. Now what I would like to do is I would like to shade underneath. Let me say that's done for the paint. I think is probably a good idea. And I am going to take now my shadow. I'm going to create some shadows underneath some of these pieces. So, for example, like this neck bit right here, I'm gonna take my little brush and I'm going to add a shadow under it. I think instead of like going nuts with really blended shadows, I think I'm just gonna focus on creating the shadow more than blending it out so well that you can't even tell that I drew a shadow, you know? Because I tend to get really obsessive over it and I blend it out so extremely, but I don't think that it's necessarily worth it when you're doing such a costume-esque makeup sometimes. I mean, sometimes it looks nice. Like I went all out to try and blend that zombie and it took me forever. So I just need to like take care of myself a little bit and not let myself get so obsessive over it, you know? Especially because if I over blend, the issue then becomes that I'm blending away most of my purple. And so I just need to be careful. It's so funny because like I know it's 1:30 at night, right? But I am having so much fun that it's like I'm not even, sorry, I don't want to block this entirely from you. I'm only going to do a few more of these shading bits on camera and then I will do it all on my free time when the camera's shut off because it's going to stop recording in about a minute. But it's so interesting how like when I'm doing this, there is not a care in the world for me. Like I do not care that it is 1 a.m. I am not that tired. I am thriving. To be fair, 1 a.m. is not abnormal for me, but it's just so funny to me how like into it I get and how like I just zone out. And who would have thought that I started this, it was like 9 o'clock, right? 8:45, something like that, 8:53. It's now 1:30, like that's like almost 4 hours and I'm still having a great time. Anyways, I'm gonna go shade this off camera and I'll be back with some shading and we'll see where we're at. Well, wouldn't you know, it's 2:16 a.m. and I haven't done my lips yet. So let's do that super speedy. This is my white wig. There's just so much happening. I'm not even centered. Who even knows if I'm straight anymore? Like it probably got messed up when I was digging around trying to like fix stuff. All right, let's go with this little guy. How did I just get so much paint on my hand? All right, I got a little brush. I'm dipping into some red. Alrighty, let's overline these bad boys. All right, let's call it a day. I don't need to get too finicky. So here, let's just do a quick little detail shot here. My camera is gonna die soon, so I do need to make this work fast. So we ended up shading the necklace. I shaded around little tentacles. I didn't go into as much detail as the picture because I genuinely just don't have time to sit here and fuck with all this stuff. So this is good enough as far as I'm concerned. I'm pretty happy with this one. I didn't know when I started this, like how into this look I'd be, but I'm pretty pumped. I think it's fun that we did like a little Ariel, Little Mermaid moment. So yeah, let's get into a bit of a montage. Awesome. Like I said, I'm fairly happy with this. I do need to get off of this video because I need to do my TikTok transitions and go to bed. I dropped a makeup brush. And by makeup brush, it's literally a Target paintbrush, but it's fine. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked this. My little Ursula look. I think I just remembered a minute ago that my niece is like obsessed with Little Mermaid, and I wonder if she'll be like all for this. Like, look, it's Auntie as Ursula. And if that is the case, shout out to them. I don't want to say their name on the internet without permission, so I'll just say shout out to them. I have paint all over me. I don't know. I gotta get out of here. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like and subscribe. I will have 2 more looks. I have 1 more face paint and then 1 special effects look for the next 2 weeks. Hopefully next week's isn't as in-depth. Like, I don't have as much shading and intricate details going on, so we might be in good shape. But anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, week, month, or year, and I will see you all next time. I gotta go, okay? Bye! I look ridiculous in the best way.